End Time Truth Television, the channel for the lovers of truth, for the truth of the end time. So if you are a lover of truth, give us a subscription and God bless you. Shalom.
Hello everybody, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is a follow-up to the video I just did a few minutes ago. And I just want to call people's attention because some persons may not have been patient enough to watch that towards the last part of the video. So I think I should actually reiterate what I said. And what I said was that, you see, when somebody tells you there is a lion out there, and that person didn't tell you, don't go that way, but he has just told you there is a lion out there, what he's simply telling you is use your brain. If it is possible for you to, change a route and go through another road so that you will avoid the danger that is ahead, do that. But if there is a way you think you can manipulate and maneuver your way and pass over the hordes of the lion that is out there, you can. Playing your part of J. Israel's outburst against Pastor Dr. Paul Enenche, and all that was said that Dr. Paul Enenche told Osinachi not to leave the church because that will paint the image of the church badly. And judging from the reaction and the response of the man and how elaborate he was in explaining his innocence over the whole thing.
Marriage is not an achievement. We have lost a sister in Christ. We have lost a sister, one of the finest voices all the way from Nigeria. She endured in the marriage. She stayed in the marriage simply because of the religious beliefs that the church has instilled into people's minds. She remained in the marriage simply because she was trying to live up to the standard of the church. And by trying to live up to the standard of the church, she ended up losing her life in the hands of an abusive man. Now they say, according to what I have gathered, and according to what, because remember the person I'm talking about, the reason why I'm so concerned about this issue and the reason why I'm so broken is because Sister Osi, like I used to call her, and myself, we used to talk. She would call me and we would talk. I would call her, we would talk. We were planning to do something together in South Africa. I was planning to invite her to South Africa so that we can do an event together in South Africa. She opened up to me at some point that the husband has got a problem with her going out to minister in different places because the husband is very insecure. And the insecurity of the husband has led him to a point of obsession. And it is the obsession of the husband that caused the husband to beat Sister Osi to a point where she had to be admitted in the hospital for 5 days. She had to be admitted in the hospital for 5 days. She stayed in the hospital for 5 good days before she died. Simply because she was trying to live up to the standard of the church. I asked Sister Osi a question and I said, woman of God, have you tried to speak to your pastor, Pastor Paul Enenche and Pastor Becky Enenche? What are they saying to you? What are they saying to you, and what is the advice that they are giving to you? And what she told me was heartbreaking. What she told me up to now, it is one of the reasons why I can't keep quiet about this, because it is sad, man. She told me that the pastor and the wife, Pastor Paul and the wife, said if she leaves the husband or if she divorces the guy simply because the guy is abusive, it is going to dent the name of the church. And it is going to dent the reputation of Pastor Paul Enenche and his wife. Now, I've got a question I want to pose. Now that Sister Osi is dead, now that Sister Osi is no more, what has happened to the reputation of Pastor Paul and his wife that they were trying to protect? How dare you tell me that if I divorce, I'm denting the reputation of the church? How dare you tell me that if I leave an abusive husband and divorce him, I am going to dent the reputation of a man of God? Now that the sister is no more and the sister has died, I see somebody says, how come I never did anything? I did everything possible. I did everything possible to talk to Sister Osi, and I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one who tried. There are several women in Nigeria who were close to Sister Osi who also tried to talk to her. She would say the same things. To some, she wouldn't be as open as she would be to some. It is very sad what religion has done to the children of God. If it was not for this stupid religion that all of you are focusing on, you are focusing and your minds are so sold out to this stupid religion called Christianity. I said stupid religion called Christianity because religion and Christianity, it is a man-made cult. Christianity is something that is man-made. It is man-made, just like the Islam, just like the Buddhist. That is why one day I said we need to step out of the boundaries of religion and begin to have a spiritual connection with our Father, who is our God. We need to step out of the stupidity of religion because sooner or later, people are going to die. People are going to continue dying. This is the first one. Now, how many other people are going to die before people realize that we are losing our lives because of religion? How dare you tell me that if I leave the church, I'm going to dent the reputation of a man of God? How dare you tell me that if I leave if I divorce an abusive man, I am denting the reputation of a church? That is foolishness and stupidity in its highest level. Let me tell you this truth for free. Sister Osi is not the only one who is suffering in the hands of monsters. And they are deciding to stay in those marriages simply because the man of God has said, if you divorce me, you are going to be doing something wrong against God, sinning against God. I know we have got so many scholars who are watching me right now. I might not be as learned as you are. And you may come and quote as many verses as you can and tell me about how God hates divorce. But if your God, who hates divorce, supports the abuse of women in the church and the killing of women in the church, then you better stay with your God and we will follow whatever you are accusing us of following. Because you cannot open your mouth and claim to be a child of God and come at me with all the attacks that you do simply because I'm raising some valid points. These are conversations that the church is not willing to have at any point, because each time we tackle such issues, you want to attack the player and you don't want to dribble the ball. Let us dribble the ball today and stop attacking the player.
And I wouldn't want to stay here to tell you that Dr. Paul Enenche lied, that was not the situation. If you want to find out if he lied, please, he mentioned names. And don't come here to tell me that I'm trying to hold brief for Dr. Paul Enenche. I don't know him. I've not seen him before. I only know him from television, just like you and I do. But then I don't have any reason why I should disbelieve him. And in fact, there are more reasons why I should believe him, because I've seen 2 of his messages where he and his wife, in one of the videos which I have actually uploaded here, and maybe I should let you watch the 2. Now, we're telling people not to die in abusive relationship.
You will break. But I've seen people say, The next day to marriage, say, I'm not sure of this thing. I am not sure of this thing. Wedding cards are prepared, everything is ready, but I am not sure of this thing. And they step out. It may be very, very brutal, and nobody should ever put another person through such. But marriage, wedding that didn't hold, is better than marriage that is a hell. Am I communicating? Don't forget what I said. Don't manage to marry. God will give you the person for you. You will not marry the wrong person.
Don't marry out of desperation, and don't marry out of pity.
Don't pity somebody, say till you marry him.
And never marry somebody you think does not deserve you.
Vice versa. Vice versa.
Both male and female.
Both male and female. My counsel to anybody: if you don't love anybody's daughter, instead of killing them, hand them back to their father. Divorce is not allowed under any condition. But this is what I believe: it is better to be alive and there is no marriage than for you to die because of marriage. A killer marriage is a nonsense marriage. There are people who can finish their wife or husband emotionally, psychologically, mentally. This woman is a shadow of her life. This man is not a man anymore. Hypertension, ulcer, pressure, arthritis, because of a useless personality in the name of a husband.
And so, if Osinachi was a member of that church, and a prominent one at that, and she heard the pastor clearly and openly telling the congregation, not in the dark room, but openly telling the congregation, don't die in an abusive relationship. Now, who then was expecting him to call Osinachi and say, hey, leave that marriage? Now, even if she told him everything about the marriage, there was nobody on earth. Me will not call a woman that is married to another man to say, leave your husband because of what you've told me is happening in your home. Now, it is clearer now that she never told him. But even if she told him, if he had done it, it will still be on the news that Dr. Paul Enenche, a pastor, was responsible for the breaking of the marriage of his member. And then it will become a news, because since he is a top member, a top minister in that church, then the news will be that they are sleeping together. And that was why he scattered her marriage. So we should actually be very, very sensible in saying certain things. You know, like I said in my previous video, anything against pastors now is taken because of the unfortunate lifestyle of some pastors. But that should not be a wholesale thing. You know, when we see the truth, we must actually analyze the truth and stand by the truth. It is an unfortunate thing that this woman had to lose her life because she stayed in a marriage where she was being abused. But the fact is that bringing in the church, you know, into it to make it look like somebody asked her to stay there and die there is being unfair. I understand that religion may make it look like the woman had committed an atrocious evil, an atrocious act if she had walked away from the relationship. Yeah, there may be some persons that may not call her again, that may not invite her again to minister, but I tell you something, that will be for temporal. Catherine Kuhlman left a marriage, and yet that was not enough reasons for her to be downtrodden. She rose and she became who she became until she died. So I still believed that if the woman had left, there could be religious people, or there could be people who, you know, purportedly might mean well, but not knowing in depth what the woman was going through, who may come out to disparage her and condemn her. But her being alive, and if she stayed alive to tell her story, I think that would have been better for her. But all I'm just trying to say is that when you hear messages, when you hear counsels, it will only benefit you if you take good and cool advantage of the messages. The man had come out with his wife and said, I have to be careful because I see people now reading meaning to all sort of things. Now that I put my hands like this, somebody may say, I'm giving an Illuminati sign. So please, this is not an Illuminati sign. Okay? So it's not an Illuminati sign. And that is part of the religion we're talking about. We know people are bad. We know several things are happening now. But then we should not read meaning to everything that we see. It is absurd. Now, going back to what I was saying, see, when Dr. Enenche had preached the message, what was left for everybody that listened to the message was to look at the message, take it if it was beneficial to you, and if it wasn't, then discard it. And I think that was what the woman, she chose to discard it. And so, why then do we blame anybody? She lived it, she stayed in it, she endured it, and it's actually told on her life. It's told on the way she looked, because we that knew her from far have always, I've been very, very, how do I put it now? I've questioned her looks. She never looked as somebody that was comfortable. There seemed to be this kind of sadness that she was trying to mask with the joy that she exhibits whenever she ministered. And that was it. But then looking at her, something was not sitting well. But unfortunately, she is gone. And there is nothing anybody can do about it. And I hope and believe that she made it to heaven. God bless you. And I will see you in the next video. When I said heaven, I mean the eternal life that is to come. Because I know interpreters will want to question me, has she gone to heaven directly? I know she is. If she made it, she is in a place that is better than where she came from. Thank you so much. I will see you in the next video shortly. Till then, from me to you, shalom.